Hello, my name is Bill Edgett. I have no guests scheduled for tonight, so I'm just going to make this a very short evening and try to talk to people about what I think is one of the main things that targeted parents and people that are suffering from alienation need to do. And we need to recognize that this isn't a gender issue. Um, I'm a member of some men's support groups, and I see that there are also women's support groups. And I try to be gender neutral because I recognize that both men and women suffer the exact same as as one another. As you know, any parent that is denied access or the ability to see their child, for me, it has been the most traumatic experience that I've ever dealt with in my life. And I can imagine it is the same for every other parent that's in the same situation. And I was saw a post today. Um, It was for a 37-year-old woman, and it was a women's support group. And they were talking about how the court system and the process of alienation is what caused and led to her death. She is going for an autopsy, I believe. There was no specific details as to what caused her death, but again, this was a parent who was fighting to keep their children in their lives, and unfortunately, they for one reason or another, they are no longer alive. And recently on my personal page, I've also shared a post of a gentleman from the UK who I believe was 34 years old and decided to stream a live video moments before he took his own life. He um, he had been waiting for some funds, and he had $3 or $4 or pounds in his bank account, and he was just so traumatized by the whole situation that he gave up. And I want people to know that you have other options. It's not easy, and it's not a short process. It's going to be long. It's going to be very difficult. But if you want to see your children or have them in your life, this is what we must do. And one of the things that I think we really need to do is to come together, men and women, instead of arguing that women do this, men are abusive, women are manipulative. The pathological behavior is one that is done, and it is a pattern that can be recognizable, and it is done by people that suffer from a personality disorder. Narcissistic or borderline personality disorders are the two main behaviors associated with the alienating behaviors. People need to stop trying to label these situations as all men or all women. There are groups around the world who try to make this a gender issue and label all men as abusive or all women as manipulative, and they're the ones that cause these situations. The truth is, these are caused by people with a personality disorder, undiagnosed, and they're not going to get help and they're not going to change. So, everyone that is suffering the loss of it, grieving the loss of a child that's still alive, we need to come together. We need to support one another instead of attacking the other gender and blaming them because that is what happened in our case. And it's not the same case for everyone. But the feelings, whether you're a man or a woman and you are being denied access to your child, are the same. We are being abused by manipulative, coercive people. And just because a woman has done it to me and a man might have done it to a woman, I recognize that men are also capable of exhibiting these behaviors, and I've seen cases where this has happened. And one of the worst cases I've seen is a mother being alienated from her children, and it's horrific, and it's very sad. And we need to learn to come together, because the children are the ones that suffer from this pattern of abuse. They're the innocent victims. They don't have any say whatsoever in this process. They came into this life. They have parents. They will love and admire their parents because their parents are who they look up to survive and look after them, and who they look to learn from. So we need to come together, and traumatized people do not always make the best examples for a parent. I know, because I'm still suffering from trauma myself, and I know my children recognize this at times, and it's very upsetting to me that I can't keep it hidden from them, because I know it's very upsetting for them. I've managed to do the best I can with the help of supports, people who have gone through the same process I have, who recognized the same things I've been going through. And without that, I'd still feel alone and would probably be in a worse position than I am now. So what we need to do is, everyone, whether you're a man, a woman, anyone who's being denied access to their children, this is a tactic, this is a form of abuse, and it's very traumatizing. And we need to recognize that it's not just the other sex that does this. It's people that suffer from disorders, and they have a pattern of behavior. The pattern of behavior will be the same for all these cases. We need to come together and try to put supports in place to help people through these situations and get these situations recognized, so the children do not go through these abusive processes for a prolonged period of time, which currently is the case. The only way we can do this is if we come together. We can't continue to blame our spouses, the other sex. It's a diversion created by the courts and lawyers to continue the litigation and keep these cases prolonged, because they don't recognize which party is the abuser and which party is the victim. They don't want to make a decision, and they're hoping that you're just going to go away. And they'll delay and delay and delay and drain your resources. And it's traumatic for everybody involved. This process needs to change. The courts aren't going to do it. The lawyers aren't going to do it. The only people that can do it are the parents. And we can't do it by ourselves. We need to get these situations recognized. We need to start reaching out to our political representatives, making them aware of the process that is going on in the courts. And the courts is failing to do things in the best interest of the children, because they really don't know what that is. They need help understanding that. They might know the law very well, but they don't know what's in the best interest of the children when it comes to these high conflict situations. And because it's an adversarial system, they take sides when that might not be the best situation. Denying access to the children based on the stories of one parent against the other. And most times that's what it is allegations without proof. And that's so wrong. It is so wrong for a child and parent to be separated, to break a loving bond between a parent and child. And it's very damaging and destructive. So, like I said, I don't have anyone on for tonight, and no one's scheduled, but I did want to come on and share this little bit of information because currently I'm still going through the same process. I'm still battling. I'm still trying to keep my children in my life. And it's 7 years for me going on now. And it is, it has really changed my life. It has really caused me a lot of harm and isolated me. And I do not have the same resources I did prior to the start of this process. In fact, any retirement money I had is gone that I've used up paying lawyers to go through this entire process. I don't want to see other people go through that. There needs to be better resources, and we need to come together, men's groups, women's groups, and recognize that this isn't, we're all victims of abuse when it comes to having our children kept away from us. This is a very serious form of abuse, and you need help to get through it, because if nothing happens, nothing's going to change. And you will be abused throughout this process, and your child or children will also suffer that abuse as well. I'd like to invite anyone who sees this message to message me, and I'd be happy to give you the opportunity to come on and share your experiences, because all of us have shared the same experience if you've been denied access to your children, and we all know how the other feels. We need other people to be aware of how we feel and how traumatic and damaging this process is. And the only way we can do that is if we come together. If we keep fighting, saying men do this and women do that, it still creates the division, and no one wants to take sides. We need to come together. Parents that are being denied access to their children, this is what we need to come together as. Because anyone that is keeping a child from a parent is causing abuse. I'm just going to sign off for tonight. Sorry for the short evening. I've been going through quite a bit myself, and I still try to get out and help people. And if anyone needs help or you would like to talk, feel free to message me. Feel free to reach out, and I can listen. I can try to provide you information and try to help you as much as I can, because other people did that for me. And because of their help, I was able to keep my children in my life. And I'm very grateful for that. So if anyone needs someone to talk to, support, advice, feel free to message me. I really mean that. And I take lots of calls and messages, and I try to answer everybody. So I'm just going to sign off for tonight, and hopefully I'll be back next week, have a guest, and we'll be able to go more in depth into some cases of alienation and supports to get through this. Have a good night.